Hello everyone and welcome back to Series Podcast. I'm Farid, your host, and today we're diving into a topic that resonates with so many of us: how to improve your English skills. But what makes this episode extra special is that I am joined by two incredible guests. Please welcome Kania and Monica. How are you both doing today?
Hi, Farid. I'm doing really well, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to share my journey and hopefully inspire some of the listener out there.
Hi Farid, I'm good. Thank you for you inviting me. It's such a great opportunity to talk about something so meaningful to me. I think learning English has truly shaped where who am I today, and I can't wait to discuss it with you both.
That's amazing to hear. So glad that both of you could make it. For little context for our audience, the three of us are actually classmates, which means I've had the chance to see how dedicated you are to learning English. Before we dive into the main topic, let's start with some introduction. Kanya, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Kania, and I'm currently a student of English Literature at Setiaji University. English has been a big part of my life ever since middle school. I see it as more than just a language. It's a bridge to different culture, ideas, and opportunities.
And I'm Monica, also studying English in Stikubang University. Like Kania, I've been passionate about English for a long time. It is not just a subject for me, it is a tool that has allowed me to grow, explore new perspective, and connect with people from around the world.
That's so inspiring. Learning English is truly a formative experience. Let's take a step back to the beginning. When did you first start learning English and what sparked your interest in it?
I first started learning English in sixth grade. At the time, I was fascinated by Western music and Hollywood movies. I remember being obsessed with Taylor Swift Blank Space. The lyrics were challenging, but I made it a goal to understand them. I'd play the song repeatedly, looking up words I didn't know. Movies were another big influence. I watched them with subtitles and tried to match the word with their meanings.
And for me, I started a bit earlier in fifth grade. My parents encouraged me to learn English because they saw it was valuable skill for the future. What really got me interested though was reading. I love stories and I pick up English book even if I could not understand everything. I look up unfamiliar word and over time my vocabulary grew. That habit of curiosity has stayed with me ever since.
Cepetan seminggu.
Iki ra,
Yang ini cepet nih daripada ini.
ora macete.
14 itu biro.
Loh kok
14
14?
kan 15.
Angka dendekannya
Lope,
14.
lope.
15.
Soalnya kan slow.
Mulusku langsung hilang anjir. Lope.
Tak kirain macete ra bareng.
Ulang-ulang.
Ternyata singkirnya 14 atau 15.
Ulang ya. Usah. 3, 4, 15.
15.
15, 14.
14.
15.
14.
Makanya kok menitnya beda kan ini 23, 28. Lah mau kan mau 24 po piro wong kowe.
Yo.
Urung to anjir, urung dia baba apa mau. Yo, 1, 2, 3.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Series Podcast. I'm Farid, your host, and today we're diving into a topic that resonates with so many of us: how to improve your English skills. But what makes this episode extra special is that I'm joined by two incredible guests. Please welcome Kania and Monica. How are you both doing today?
Hey Farid, I'm doing really well, thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm excited to share my journey and hopefully inspire some of the listener out there.
Hi Farid, I'm good. Thank you for inviting me. It's such a great opportunity to talk about something meaningful to me. I think learning English has truly shaped who I am today, and I can't wait to discuss with you both.
That's amazing to hear. I'm so glad you could make it. For a little context for our audience, the three of us are actually classmates, which means I've had the chance to see how dedicated you are to learning English. Before we dive into the main topic, though, let's start with some introduction. Kania, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
First, hi everyone, I'm Kania and I'm currently a student of English literature at Setiaji University. English has been a big part of my life ever since middle school. I see it as more than just a language, but it's a bridge to different culture, ideas, and opportunities.
And I'm Monica, also studying English literature in Uniswam. And like Kania, I've been passionate about English for a long time. It's not just a subject for me, it's a tool that has allowed me to grow, explore new perspectives, and connect with people from all over the world.
That's so inspiring. Learning English is truly an informative experience. Let's take a step back to the beginning. When did you first start learning English, and what sparked your interest in it?
I first started learning English in sixth grade. At the time, I was fascinated by Western music and Hollywood movies, and I remember being obsessed with Taylor Swift's Blank Space. The lyrics were challenging, but I made it a goal to understand them. I played the song repeatedly, looking up words I didn't know. Movies were another big influence. I watched them with subtitles and tried to match the words with their meanings.
For me, it started a bit earlier in fifth grade. My parents encouraged me to learn English because they saw it's a valuable skill for the future. What really got me interested though was reading. I love stories and I picked up English book even if I could understand everything. I looked up unfamiliar words and over time my vocabulary grew. That habit of curiosity has stayed with me ever since.
It's amazing how personal interests like music, movies, and books can become gateways to learning a new language. Are any specific resources or platforms you use now to continue improving your English?
Definitely. This day, I follow YouTube channels like TED Talks and Interactive English. They make learning fun and interactive, and they cover everything from grammar to conversational phrases. Podcasts are another great resource. For the Mangoes is one of my favorite horror because it helps with my listening. And I also use apps like Duolingo to practice vocabulary.
I completely agree with Kanya. I also recommend English in general on Instagram. Their content is present in a fun and engaging way through videos and posts such as meme, which make learning English feel less like a chore and more like entertainment. It really helps to keep the learning process enjoyable and not boring. For writing, I rely on Grammarly to check my essays, which is not only help me correct mistakes but also teach me how to improve my writing. I think having access to a variety of resources really help to keep things fresh and exciting, so I stay motivated to keep learning.
Those are fantastic suggestions. Personally, I enjoy TED Talks because they are not only great for improving listening, but also introduce you to new ideas and perspectives. Speaking of listening, how did you both work on improving that skill?
Listening has always been a key focus for me. I try to expose myself to variety accents, British, American, Australian, and listen to songs, podcasts, and movies. Shadowing exercise where I repeat what the speaker says have been incredibly helpful. They improve my listening, pronunciation, and confidence all at once.
And for me, variety was essential. I listened to audiobooks, new reports, and casual interviews. Watching video without subtitle was a challenge at first, but it helped me rely on context and tone to understand the meaning. The more I practiced, the better I got at picking up different accents and speeds.
It's clear that both of you have put a lot of effort into listening. Let's move on to speaking, which many learners find challenging. How did you approach improving your speaking skills?
Speaking was intimidating at first, but I found that joining the English Conversational Club at university really helped. It was a safe place to practice without fear of judgment. Aside of that, I talked to myself in English, describing my day or rehearsing conversation. It might sound strange, but it really worked.
I took a different approach. I imitated native speakers from movies and YouTube videos, pausing and repeating lines until I got the pronunciation and the intonation right. But online games were another fun way to practice. I chat with players from around the world and pick up new phrases naturally.
Those are fantastic strategies. Speaking takes courage, but it also rewarding once you get comfortable with it. What about reading? How do you both approach this skill, especially as English literature studies?
Reading is a huge part of my learning process. I enjoy novels, academic articles, and blogs. I take notes on interesting expression and idiom, which help me expand my vocabulary. Rereading certain texts allow me to fully grasp their structure and also meaning.
I agree with Kania. Reading a wide range of materials has been incredibly beneficial. Analyzing literature in class has helped me think critically and appreciate the nuance of the language. I also keep a vocabulary journal where I write down new words and review them regularly.
It's clear that reading plays a big role in your learning journey. Now let's tackle writing, a skill that combines creativity with precision. How do you improve your writing?
I started with simple things like short essays. Reading extensively has helped me understand how sentences are structured and how ideas flow. Revising my work is something I take seriously because it's where I learn the most.
For me, writing essays for university assignment has been a great way to practice. I practice to just write anything in English. My tip is to write about topics that interest you. It makes the process more enjoyable and less stressful.
Since we're classmates, how has the campus environment contribute to your English learning?
Our campus provides so many opportunities to practice, from English club activities to presentation and group projects. The supportive atmosphere make it easier to stay motivated.
And add that our lectures play a huge role. They encourage us to think critically and push us to express ourselves creatively.
Yes, that's right. And as we've discussed, there are so many ways to approach learning English, whether it's through music, movies, reading, or conversation practice. But let's touch on something a bit deeper. Language isn't just about grammar or vocabulary, it's also about culture. How do you think learning English has helped you understand or connect with different cultures?
That's a great question. For me, learning English has opened up a whole new world of culture. It's not just about understanding the language itself, but also the perspective, values, and histories that come with it. For example, through reading English literature, I've encountered different worldviews that have shaped how I see things. Understanding cultural references in books, movies, or music helps me appreciate the nuance of language, why certain phrases are used, or how humor works in different contexts.
I completely agree with Kenya. English is a global language franchise, so learning it gives you access to many diverse cultures. It allows you to see the world from different viewpoints. One of my favorite things about speaking English is ability to converse with people from all walks of life, whether it's through international friendship, travel, or even business opportunities. Knowing English has made me feel more connected to the world. It allows me to share experience and learn from others in ways I would not have been able to without the language.
That's such an important point. English as a bridge between cultures is more than just a tool for communication. It's a way to understand and practice differences. Now, let's talk about challenges. What do you think are the biggest challenges in learning English and how did you overcome them?
For me, one of the biggest challenges was overcoming the fear of making mistakes, especially when speaking. I think many learners feel this pressure to be perfect, but that's not the reality of language learning. The key is to embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. In my case, I started by practicing with my friends who were also learning English. That way, I feel more comfortable experimenting with the language without feeling judged.
I completely agree again with Kanya. Another challenge I faced was expanding my vocabulary. At first, it felt like I was constantly using the same word over and over again. But over time, I found that reading books, watching movies, and engaging in conversation exposed me to a wide range of words. I also keep a vocabulary notebook where I write down new words and their meanings, then review them regularly. Eventually, my vocabulary grew and I felt more confident using a broader range of expression.
It's amazing to hear that you both turn those challenges into opportunities for growth. Another question I have is about motivation. Learning English can sometimes feel like a long, challenging journey. How do you stay motivated, especially when it feels like progress is slow?
Well, that's a great question. For me, setting small, achievable goals has been really helpful. Instead of focusing on the bigger picture, I break down my learning into smaller tasks. For example, I might set a goal to learn 10 new words a week or finish a chapter of an English novel. By focusing on smaller milestones, I can see progress that keeps me motivated. I also remind myself why I started learning English in the first place. Whether it's to read books in the original language, travel, or connect with people from around the world.
Yes, setting goals is key. I also keep track of my progress. For example, when I look back at the first English essay I wrote and compare it to some time I feel recently, the difference is huge. That show me how far I've come. It's important to acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. Additionally, I feel that rewarding myself when I reach a goal, like watching a movie in English without subtitles, help me stay on track and keep learning.
It sounds like you both have found great ways to stay. Learning English is a journey, and finding ways to enjoy the process is so important. Before we wrap up, let's talk about one last thing. How do you see your future with English? Do you have any plans for how you want to use your skill in the future?
For me, I see English as essential part of my career, especially in translation. I always been passionate about literature and I hope to become a translator of English literary works. English allows me to engage with a much wider range of texts. It will be a vital tool in bridging the gap between culture. I also hope to contribute to global conversation about education and development, as English is the key to connecting with people from all around the world.
I'm so very focused on using English in my career. I believe that English is a key to unlock many opportunities in various industries, whether it's through creating content, networking, or collaborating with people from different countries. English will be an important tool in my professional life.
It's so exciting to hear your plans. English truly is the gateway to so many opportunities. I'm sure that both of you will continue to achieve great things. Now, I want to shift focus a bit. How do you think learning English impact your career prospect as English literature studies?
I think learning English is incredibly important for our career prospect, especially because it's a global language. In fields like translation, publishing, content creator, and even teaching English is essential. Being proficient allows us to engage with wider audience and open up more job opportunities, especially in international settings.
I agree with Kania. As English literature students, we're learning not only the language but also the culture, histories, and critical thinking skills that are valued in many professions. Whether we work in publishing, education, or media, English proficiency helps us stand out. Plus, many global companies look for employees who can communicate fluent in English, so it's definitely an advantage in the job market.
That makes sense. So you're both saying that English isn't just about understanding data, but also developing skills that make you more competitive in the job market. Would you say that's true?
Yes, absolutely. Learning English helps us develop soft skills like communication, writing, and critical thinking. And these skills are implemented in many fields such as marketing, media, and education. For example, being able to write clearly and speak persuasively are skills that I've been learning as an English literature student, and they are very transferable to many professional roles.
Exactly, the study of literature pushes us to analyze, interpret, and communicate ideas effectively. These skills are crucial in job and require writing, presenting, or working with complex information. Many industries like content creators and research require employees who can recognize their too clearly and express them well in English, which is something we're constantly working on in our studies.
So, learning English helps with both communication and problem solving skills,
Yeah.
which are key in many professional environments. Do you think it also offers more career flexibility?
Definitely, English is the key to many global opportunities, whether it's teaching English abroad or working with international clients or collaborating with foreign colleges. Being proficient in English makes you adaptable to different job environments. English proficiency opens doors to work in different countries or with global companies, making your career option much more flexible.
I agree. In the digital age, many businesses operate internationally. Knowing English allows you to connect with people around the world, which is incredibly valuable in fields like business, tech, and media. Whether you want to work remotely or travel for work, English is often the bridge that connects you to those opportunities.
That's a quick one. So, in addition to opening doors to different career paths, English also helps you stay adaptable in an ever-changing job market. Do you think English contributes to your confidence in professional settings?
Absolutely. As an English literature student, the more I practice English, whether it's through reading, writing, or speaking, the more confident I feel using it in professional environments. I can confidently contribute to discussion, give presentation, or write reports in English. This confidence is important in job interviews or when networking in international contexts.
Yes, confidence is a key. Knowing that you can communicate clearly in English, especially in global or multicultural settings, really boosts your professional presence, whether it's in a meeting, in a job interview, or collaborating on a project with international teams. English proficiency allows you to participate fully without the fear of making mistakes. It empowers you to take on more responsibility and challenge.
It's great to hear how English not only opens on career opportunity but also builds confidence. Finally, what would you say to other students who might still be hesitant about improving their skills for their future career?
I would say don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better you get. English opens up so many doors, and the more you improve, the more confident and capable you feel. It's not about just passing exam or learning vocabulary. It's about building skill that will help you in so many areas.
I agree. Set small goals and celebrate your progress. English can be intimidating at first, but once you start seeing improvements, it becomes much more enjoyable. Plus, English isn't just useful for getting a job, it is also about connecting with people and experiencing the world in a different way. So keep practicing and embrace every learning opportunity.
Do you have any final tips for our listeners and how to keep improving their English?
I think one of the most important things is to be patient and consistent. Learning a language is a journey and it takes time. It's easy to feel frustrated at times, especially when progress seems slow. But the key is to enjoy the process, embrace the challenges, and recognize every mistake is a learning opportunity. When you make mistakes, you're actually making progress because you're learning from them. So don't be afraid to speak or write even if you're not perfect yet. Those moments of trial are the ones that will help you improve the most. Keep pushing yourself to try and the result will come.
I absolutely agree with Kania. Alongside passion, I'd say set small achievement goals for yourself. If you try to tackle too much at once, it can feel overwhelming. Start with something manageable like learning 5 new words a day or watching an English language movie once a week. Once you accomplish that, celebrate it. It doesn't matter how small the achievement it is about building momentum. The more you celebrate the little wins, the more motivated you feel to keep going. Another things that help me is surrounding myself with English in a way that feel natural and enjoyable. For example, I love reading books in English and watching my favorite show with English subtitles. It's not only improve my language skills but also makes the process fun.
I really like that idea. Celebrating small wins, it helps to keep things positive and encourage you to continue even when the progress feels slow. You both have mentioned how English is such a crucial skill in today's world, especially for career prospects. Do you think that people who are learning English should aim to be fluent or just functional?
I believe it's more about being functional, especially in the beginning. Fluency comes with time and consistent practice. When you're starting up, focus on being able to communicate effectively. Whether that's understanding what someone is saying or expressing yourself clearly, as you keep practicing, your fluency will improve naturally. It's also important to recognize that fluency doesn't mean being perfect. It's about being comfortable using the language in different contexts. So don't stress about making every sentence perfect. Just focus on communicating your ideas.
Yes, it's not about perfection, it's about the progress. A functional level of English will open up so many doors, especially when you're learning for professional or academic purpose. You'll need enough language proficiency to participate in discussion, write emails, or give presentation. But again, that takes time. Fluency will come naturally as you immerse yourself in the language. And the more comfortable you get with it, the more fluent you'll become.
That's such a great perspective. Just about being functional in English can be more than enough to start making significant progress in both personal and professional areas. So, for everyone listening who might feel discouraged or unsure about their math skills, I think these tips are really helpful. Don't expect perfection. Take it one step at a time and keep learning every day.
Exactly, and remember, English is a tool, not a destination. It's there to help to connect with others, explore the world, and pursue opportunities, whether it's traveling, building professional relationships, or discovering new knowledge. English plays a huge role in making those things possible.
And don't forget to enjoy the journey. Learning a language can be challenging, but it's also incredibly rewarding. The process you make, no matter how small, is something to be proud of. So keep at it and you'll get where you want to be.
Thank you both for sharing your stories and tips. This has been an incredibly insightful discussion. I'm sure our listeners can have learned a lot from your experience.
Thank you, Farid. It was a pleasure to share my journey and hopefully inspire others to keep pushing forward.
Yes, thank you. I hope our experience inspire others to keep improving and not give up on their English learning journey.
And that's it for today's episode. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Remember to stay consistent, stay curious, and enjoy the process. See you next time.
See you.